Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Victor, your dating trainer, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about myself again and about the struggles that I actually had to go through learning the language and learning how to attract the females from other ethnic groups and different cultures. In my personal experiences, I didn't have that much problems. Like coming from a different country, which I already told you guys in the episodes before. I'm from Venezuela, right? So it wasn't as problematic for me to actually like talk to women or pick up girls because they would come to me and talk and talk and talk. So what I would do is let them talk my ear off. So now, an anecdote. It came when I think it was Valentine's Day, and this one girl came up to me and like she gave me a necklace, right? And this other girl, like there was like this one, like she was a wonderful person because she told me like sincere from her heart that I don't understand. I didn't understand at that point, but she was very sincere about what she wanted to say, and she gave me a gift, and she it was a very wonderful, beautiful gift. It was a necklace, and like it had like a square medallion, I guess. I don't know if that fits the description of what I'm trying to say, but she gave it to me, and like wholeheartedly, I tried to like hold on to it. But then I noticed that these other girls that I was friends with at the time, like one of them wanted me, and they called me over. They took the chain and they went to their one girl and like they threw it at her face. And I was like, all right, what's going on? Like I guess they were trying to claim territory, which I was like surprised because most of the times girls are not territorials. Mind you, I didn't know that at the time. Girls are very territorial when it comes to their men, right? And I say men because we shouldn't be uh, objects. Well, a lot of you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, what do you mean objects and whatnot?" But yeah, like I mean, like they were treating me like an object because I was like, "All right, like so what's the problem? Like she's a friend of mine and she was giving me a gift and you girls are grabbing that gift that she gave me and like throwing it at her face and saying like stuff that I'm assuming was don't talk to this guy because blah 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 blah. Now coming back to the point, like the girls that used to come up to me was like mostly like uh, white girls, mixed girls, West Indian girls, because they thought I was from Trinidad, Guyana, or they thought I was Indian, like the West Indian girls. The white girls thought I was mixed, like a half breed or black and white mix. And then they wanted to get to know me better. Like the Hispanics, they knew I was Hispanic, but it was more of a friendly conversation, so to speak. But most of the other girls were wondering what I was. So that was the air of mystery that I had. Nobody knew where I was from. Girls knew that I was different, so therefore I'm unique and whatever. And I had dimples too. So that's the other thing. Like I had no problems in uh, selecting or choosing a partner at that time. Mind you, like at that time it was like the most like most time like the time that people would actually like look for that one particular person because that's the first love or that's the first person that you need to get. But I already had that back home. So I came over here with guns drawn, I guess, and like people were like assuming that I was just like a guy that came out of nowhere and like just like that was ignorant. But I already had like the first like the puppy love, like they call it, and the things that people over here they like seek after at a certain age when I already had it back home like earlier than they did. So therefore, I was already like with the thought, with the conceived notion that things are gonna happen, and like people are gonna do things that are gonna be like different because men and women are different, and like you start realizing things, right? So then growing up, like I started like uh, uh, yes, observing. I used to go like to this big mall that we have here in Canada in Toronto called the Eaton Center. Now it's like the Sears Center or something like that. But I used to go and like just people watch. I used to sit up on like the third floor, which is like the highest floor that there was at the time. I just look down at people and like the environment. Not like a creep, just like as a person that didn't know how to speak a word of English. And yes, people watch like all the time. People watch here, people watch there, like just observe. And like, like how like people like just do dumb things and like they trip over themselves and like then like they look around like nothing happened, right? And then they're like, oh, like okay, like that happened and that was funny. So like it's one of those things that is like, all right, like what, like you have to be there. Like it's that one particular moment that it's like, all right, like what, like I have to like make sure that like I need to like make sure that I get everything uh, behaviorally wise, because basically my behavior and culture and difference in everything was an issue, right? You have to make sure that you I how do you say it, establish a common ground with people. And I saw that when I was 12, 13. So for me, it was like no problem. To learn a language, it was actually like easier for me because I like, uh, when I was younger, I actually liked languages. So when I came to Canada and like I learned how to speak Chinese before I actually learned how to speak English. When something came up and like somebody didn't know how to speak, I would physically teach them how to speak like the language without verbalizing it. So it was very easy for me to translate things to a different person when it wasn't really like my point. When I wasn't really getting paid for it, I should have like got into translations and whatnot. But things have their own way of like working. But at the same time, all this analyzing and viewing and like visualizing like things and behavior wise and matter like the way that couples talk and like the way that like people like men communicated with women was so different than when I was back home, because back home like the guys would be direct and the women were as direct as the men. There was no issues. A guy would throw a pickup line at a girl. The girl, if she liked it, she'll laugh and like talk to the guy. If not, then she'll throw something right back at him, and which will make the guy like think twice about like talking to her again. And like this was an ongoing thing, and we as children would laugh, and guys would be like, "Oh, like stop laughing," and like get all like red in the face, so to speak. But it was one of those things that, all right, like the culture from back home is so like different than here, that even like the communication with a guy with a girl and a girl, like I have no problems in approaching a girl and talking to her as another guy, because the girls back home, like Miss Venezuela's, we won like 13 like Miss Universes. They were top of the line like at those days, top of the list. So talking to another girl was just like talking to a regular person. Didn't mean anything. It was just like, oh, like I'm just communicating. I'm expressing my thoughts to you. And it was like talking to somebody that you didn't know, but you wanted to get to know better as a friend. And I guess like women picked up on that and like they wanted to get to know me better, but to with their intentions as I want him as my boyfriend, or like I want to take him to like the next dance, or I want to do this and that. And I was thinking, I'm like, all right, well, whatever. When like the time presents itself, might as well take it, right? But I'm gonna keep this conversation going in my next episode. Right now, like I'm reaching my top limit, and we'll talk to you later. Remember to comment if you like these videos. If you want me to keep talking about it, if you don't want me to keep talking about it, text me and like, or like comment and like let me know, like talk about this, or like let me know like what you want to say, like talk about like um, your experiences, or like you want me to like talk about like how to pick up girls, because I'm actually gonna get into like that as I'm like going in age, right? So let me know what you like, what you don't like, if you have anything to say or to comment, or if you don't like the way that I talk, if you don't like the way that anything is going, let me know as well, because your feedback is actually pretty good for me, because that way I actually learn. All right. So let me know in your comments, and I'll talk to you in a bit. All right. Peace.